Most marine engines are lucky to see 5,000 hours before a major rebuild. Yet Cummins 6BTs, Yanmar 4JHs, and Perkins 4.236s are quietly pushing past 10,000, 15,000, even 17,000 hours in saltwater without ever cracking the block. These power plants don't just resist failure, they're engineered to make it nearly impossible. And the difference comes down to a handful of design decisions most owners never think about. Yanmar, Perkins, and Cummins engines are built for endurance that borders on excess, starting with the metal at their core. The Yanmar 4JH series, for example, uses 4-bolt main caps, an industrial-grade clamp that locks the crankshaft in place and prevents bearing drift, even under relentless torque. This design, borrowed from heavy machinery, gives the crankcase a 12% margin over standard marine diesels, absorbing the punishment of high-load cycles that would wear out lesser engines. Perkins 4.236 takes the same philosophy further, pairing forged connecting rods with a cast iron block that shrugs off decades of vibration. Owners have logged over 18,000 hours on a single engine, with the original crank and camshaft still in service after routine piston and ring replacements. The oil-to-water cooler keeps the lubrication circuit isolated from salt water, cutting bearing corrosion and thermal stress by up to 30% compared to open-loop systems. This means oil temperatures stay stable, even when the engine is pushed hard for days on end. Cummins 6BT 5.9-liter diesel is famous in commercial fishing fleets for its oversized forged steel crankshaft and massive bearing surfaces. The engine is rated to handle 68 kilonewton-meters of torsional load, numbers more at home in a truck than a pleasure boat. A gear-driven water pump, another industrial carryover, ensures that coolant flow never lags, even at idle, protecting the bearings and piston skirts from heat spikes. Commercial operators routinely report 20,000 hours before a rebuild, with parts availability guaranteed thanks to the engine's roots in the Dodge Ram truck line. These engines share more than a reputation. They share a dealer and parts grid that spans continents. Yanmar's 250-plus authorized centers, Perkins's global warehouses, and Cummins' national network mean that a failed bearing or worn seal rarely sidelines a boat for long. The combination of structural overkill, tight thermal discipline, and industrial heritage explains why these power plants keep running when others quit. It's not marketing. It's metal, heat, and torque, engineered for the long haul. Beta Marine's diesel blocks don't grab headlines with horsepower, but their staying power is legendary among long-haul cruisers and workboats. Built on Kubota's agricultural engine platform, these compact diesels carry a reputation for running 17,000 hours or more with nothing but routine oil changes and the occasional coolant flush. The secret starts with the block itself, a high silicon cast iron recipe that shrugs off thermal cycling and resists cylinder wear. Independent metallurgical tests show a 25% improvement in wear rates compared to standard marine iron, a margin that pays off over decades of steady use. Inside, the 4-bolt main caps and forged pistons, features borrowed directly from industrial tractor engines, lock the crankshaft and rods in place, keeping tolerances tight even after thousands of hours at sea. The oil system isn't just robust, it's oversized, designed to keep pressure stable through long idle periods and sudden throttle bursts. Owners of European river cruisers routinely log 15,000 to 17,000 hours before a single piston needs replacing, often after a coolant leak, rather than any mechanical failure. Parts are rarely an issue. Beta Marine's U.S. network taps directly into Kubota's automotive supply chain, so seals, rings, and filters arrive within a week, even for older models. Mercury's 9.9 Pro Kicker takes the opposite approach, a lightweight outboard designed for trolling, yet it's built with the same focus on longevity. The engine's gear-driven water pump and high-strength alloy crankshaft are engineered for relentless, low RPM operation. The pump runs at 1.2 megapascals, providing steady coolant flow that prevents overheating even during hours of slow-speed fishing. This dual-stage logic means the pump never starves the bearings of oil or coolant, a common cause of failure in smaller outboards. Gulf Coast shrimpers and freshwater guides have logged over 12,000 hours on a single pro kicker, with only a single fuel pump swap along the way. One owner's logbook shows 10 years of daily use, the original block and crank still in service. Both engines prove that durability isn't just about brute strength or size, it's about metallurgy, smart pump design, and a parts network that keeps even the most modest power plants running year after year. In the world of marine engines, compact stamina is more than a marketing line. It's logged in the hour meters and written in the maintenance logs of real boats every single day. Yamaha, Honda, and Suzuki have rewritten the rules for marine engine reliability by fusing hard-wearing metal with digital precision. The Yamaha F200, for example, doesn't just rely on a robust cast iron block. Its pistons are forged from 2618 alloy, a material chosen for its ability to shrug off high cylinder pressures that would deform ordinary aluminum. This metallurgy, borrowed from endurance racing, means the pistons keep their shape and seal even after thousands of hours at sea. Owners have logged over 10,000 hours on the F200 without a single powerhead rebuild, with the original pistons and rings still holding compression. Honda's BF150 approaches longevity from another angle, using micrometer-tight valve gear to maintain combustion stability. Each valve clearance is set to within 0.025 millimeters, about a third the thickness of a human hair. This extreme precision is made possible by shim under bucket sub valves, a design that locks the adjustment in place for years at a time. The result is a valve train that resists wear and holds its timing, even through 3,500 hours of continuous rental fleet use. When the Midwest rental operator sent its BF150 in for inspection at the 3,500 hour mark, mechanics found the valve seats and guides within spec, with only routine oil changes and a single injector cleaning required. Suzuki's DF175 takes fuel control to another level. Its sequential electronic fuel injection system delivers fuel in 0.8 millisecond bursts, metered by a common rail system that adjusts every pulse to match engine load and temperature. This level of control prevents overfueling and keeps the combustion chamber spotless, which is why Florida charter captains report 13,000 hours of service with only a single injector swap along the way. The combination of clean combustion and precise valve timing isn't just about emissions. It's the reason these engines avoid the hot spots and carbon buildup that doom lesser designs. All three engines are built with a torque surplus of up to 50% over their rated output, a buffer that protects internal components from sudden load spikes and propeller snags. This margin, combined with metallurgy that resists fatigue and fuel systems that never over-deliver, explains why these outboards keep running when others give up. The story is written in the hour meters and the maintenance logs, precision at every level, from piston crown to injector tip, is what keeps these engines alive long after the warranty expires. Volvo Penta's D4260 approaches endurance with a sealed heat exchanger that quietly removes up to 1.1 kilowatts of heat from the engine core. This closed-loop system keeps coolant and oil temperatures steady, even under heavy loads, and shields internal passages from salt and mineral buildup. Corrosion and scaling, common in open-loop systems, never get a foothold. The result is a diesel that keeps its integrity for the long haul. Maintenance logs from a Northeast charter yacht show the original block and cooling system still running after more than 16,000 hours, with only routine oil changes and a single injector cleaning over a decade of daily use. oversized bearings form the backbone of the D4-260's durability. Main bearings are specified at 1.5 times the minimum diameter for the engine's output, giving the crankshaft extra support against flex and wear. This larger diameter spreads the load, reducing surface pressure and extending service life. An electronic governor senses changes in propeller resistance and adjusts throttle instantly, smoothing out torque spikes that would otherwise punish the bearings. The engine shrugs off fatigue, running strong long after others would need a rebuild. Tohatsu's MFS50 outboard takes a different route but lands at the same destination. Its gear-driven water pump and closed-loop cooling circuit deliver a fixed flow matched to engine speed, preventing coolant starvation at idle and keeping bearings and cylinder walls evenly cooled. Saltwater stays out, so internal passages remain clean, even after years in harsh marine environments. The MFS50's oversized bearings, 50% larger than the industry standard, let it handle propeller strikes and heavy trolling without developing play or vibration. Logs from Pacific Island commuter boats show over 14,000 hours on a single engine, with only annual oil changes and a single fuel filter swap. Rapid parts support keeps downtime short, with most components available overnight. Both engines prove that smart cooling and rugged bearings are the quiet forces behind longevity, keeping them running strong long after others have faded. Today, the difference between a stranded vessel and a trusted workhorse comes down to engineering and disciplined maintenance. As marine engines face longer hours and harsher saltwater, proven design choices, like forged internals and closed-loop cooling, aren't just technical details. They're the backbone of real reliability. Thanks for watching.